Welcome to worship with the Universalist Unitarian Church of Peoria. My name is the Reverend Jennifer Innis. It is my great joy to be the minister with this congregation of people of all ages at all stages of life. This is a beloved community, striving to live into its mission of embracing freedom, loving wholeheartedly, growing in mind, body, and spirit, and adding to the wholeness and the healing of the world. We welcome people of all ethnicities and races, politics, sexual orientation, gender identities, social and economic situations, and abilities. We advocate for human rights, and we do our best to take care of this one earth. In living our mission, we recognize that we are part of a deep network of relationships. This is the ancestral home of the Peoria people. They were here long before the first European settlers came down the Illinois River. And so we recognize the Peoria people for who they were and for who they are today, as we have been asked to do. I want to thank folks for joining us in person and online. One of the lessons from the past few years is how precious it is to come together, expand our circles of care and connection. So if you are new to us, please help us get to know you. We have plenty of name tags. We welcome all the questions. And I invite folks to stay after service for coffee and conversation in Fellowship Hall, or if you're joining us online, we have a little opportunity for chat in the Zoom as well. So let me invite folks also to check your respective devices and turn them to worship mode. And of course, if you have medical devices or someone that need to stay on, by all means, that's also okay. Now I have a few notes for today. If you are new to the congregation and didn't know what Sunday this was, and you're wondering what all the costumes are about, it's Star Wars Sunday. Yay! There we go. In the Star Wars universe, one of the common expressions is, "May the Force be with you." And so May the 4th is, of course, that play on words. And it is a rare treat to have May the 4th land on a Sunday. And so we're going with Star Wars Sunday. And we have a wonderful skit also as part of this created by our middle schoolers. You don't have to be a Star Wars fan to appreciate science fiction is the exploration of the human condition in imaginary worlds. And in this case, how one galaxy faced the struggle between liberation and oppression. And so we have a few activities in Fellowship Hall for all ages as well. There might be make your own lightsaber. I'm just saying. And there also, it didn't quite get finished, but there also are little force feed meditation sachets that you can make as well. I'm also just saying. You can go check it out. Also today at 1 p.m., we have our wonderful member, Roy Siebold, offering the program, How to Stay Safe in an Online World. How do you detect a scam? How do you keep your computer and information more secure? And looking up lightsaber crystal meanings, my computer just got a bug this morning, so boy, I wish I could go to that workshop. Oh well. Next Saturday, we are hosting a Resistance Cafe. This is the next installment in our series of people getting connected. We are trying to figure out how to be active in taking care of the needs of the world. Jesse Laughlin is hosting the Resistance Cafe in the RE Commons next Saturday morning from 10 to noon. So I invite folks to come and join us for that too. And in 2 weeks, so we have a bunch of things. So next Sunday after service also is our annual plant exchange. Bring a plant, take a plant. Sometimes people bring a few plants and they take a whole lot more plants. It's okay. In 2 weeks, I want to offer a note that is our annual salad lunch, May 18th. Folks are invited to bring a salad to share. And if you consider pizza a salad, then that's okay too. Bring a pizza. The contributions that come from our salad lunch, the financial donations, go directly all to the minister's discretionary fund. This is the one fundraiser for the fund that lets me help people in need throughout the year. So consider coming and bringing a salad. Oh, and paying for it as well. There you go. And now I'd like to invite Galen Fadleaf up for an annual campaign update.
Good morning. Happy May the 4th, and happy birthday to our church. Yes, tomorrow is the church's birthday. For 182 years, members and friends like us have sustained this community. I'd like to say a very special thank you to everyone that has already pledged. The current total for the annual campaign is $263,000. This is about 72% of the way to our goal of $366,000, and we are currently on pace for the necessary 10% average pledge increase. This also means that we will be having karaoke after the service today in Fellowship Hall, so please join us for that. Today is also the date that we asked that all pledges be turned in by. As a special thank you to everyone that got theirs in by today, we will be holding a drawing at noon in Fellowship Hall. It is not too late to get your pledge in for the drawing. You may pledge electronically by finding the Thursday email on your phone and clicking on the giant pledge button on the bottom of it. You may also pledge with a paper form that we have at the table in the foyer. Find people wearing the silly hats and we will get you one. As a reminder, you do not have to be a member to pledge. In fact, 10% of our pledges come from non-member families. And for new or reinstated pledges, we have a one-to-one match program, so this is a great year to start or resume your pledge. If you cannot yet get your pledge in today, please do so as soon as possible. The team has already started to individually reach out to members that have not pledged, so expect to hear from us soon if you haven't pledged. Now I'd like to welcome Austin Locke up for a special Star Wars themed testimonial. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Austin Locke, the treasurer. I was asked to give a testimonial today involving the church and Star Wars. And as I was trying to think of the ways that connect the two of those, I was thinking about, what essentially is Star Wars. And it's a story about space wizards that when they die, they become invisible ghosts. And okay, this church kind of isn't along the same lines with those kind of beliefs. I mean, you might have those beliefs. You might come in and be like, hey, I worship the Church of George Lucas. And then, all right, yeah, you're welcome. Come on in. Everybody's welcome. In fact, we could maybe add a banner for you with like a Death Star, and maybe it says Rebel underneath. And so then I got to thinking, okay, the people like me that love Star Wars, the last 10 years have been a little bit like drinking from the fire hose. You've gotten all the Star Wars that you've wanted. But what about the people that are like really annoyed by Star Wars? Like, it's been a rough 48 years for you guys. Like, you really have oh, that's not for me. And I get that, I respect that, but it's not for me. Like, okay, just let me ignore this, all right? But I want to Mr. Brightsides for you guys that are annoyed by Star Wars. I went into technology as a profession directly because of these space-based themes shows like Star Wars and Star Trek. That's kind of pushed me into computers and technology. So indirectly, Star Wars has been responsible for the technological development that we've had today, whether it's like cell phones, websites or Amazons, or be able to click and order a package and have it show up 2 days later. Maybe not a one-to-one correlation with Star Wars, but the correlation is there. So there is a bright sides to, I don't like Star Wars. Well, the phone in your pocket, maybe it was helped by Star Wars. So that's a bright side. The general theme of Star Wars is you've got a small group of people with a belief system rebelling against a system that's evil, and a guy that's trying to take a republic and turn it into an empire. And I think that's a good parallel for us in our church. And if you guys want to be part of the rebellion, I would invite you to vote with your feet, to show up, and also vote with your wallet and support this church. So I would encourage anybody who hasn't turned in their pledge packets to do so and support this church. Thank you.
Space Wizards and talking about the annual campaign. Where are we going to go with that one? Thank you, Austin. I so appreciate that. One never knows. See, revelation is continuous. Come to church. All right, I'd like to invite you to rise in body or spirit and join me for our opening hymn, number 118, This Little Light of Mine. Let me invite BJ Lindsay up to help me with our opening words. And in this case, it is a litany for invoking the force. I invite you to check the insert in your order of service. And this was created by my spouse, the Reverend Patrick Price. You see the note up at the top, if you have the order of service in front of you, the 4 aspects of the force. And he wrote it, Reverend Patrick wrote it from the perspective of not from the outside looking into the world, but if we were having a liturgical element with the force within the Star Wars universe, what would that be? And this is what he created. So I invite you to respond as the congregation as we go.
May the force be with you.
And also with you.
We call upon the living force that flows through all life in the universe. May we feel this in others, even as we feel it in ourselves. Make us mindful of the present and live in the here and now. The living force is with us here and now. We call upon the physical force, giving us the power to affect the universe. May we use this power to heal, to defend the defenseless, and to defeat the evils that seek to abuse us to their own ends. We call upon the unifying force that binds everything together, past, present, and future. May we see beyond the dualism of light and dark to the unity of all. Give us wisdom to see what may be. We call upon the cosmic force, the beginning and ending of us all that transcends time and space. Let us know your will and embrace us when it is done. The force is with you.
Let me invite up our chalice lighters. Yeah.
I thought we were all coming in costume today. To Renew the Spark of Imagination by Reverend Michelle Collins. Here we are together, bearers of imagination, creators of new worlds. It is our imagination that lifts us beyond despair, that whispers, "What if?" and dares us to answer. Today we gather to renew that spark, to embrace the power to dream. Come, let us imagine boldly and worship together.
I'm sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I'm sending you light to hold you, to heal you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. During our music for meditation, all are welcome to come forward for a chance to light candles and make a small light that acknowledges what is with you and within you. And if you are online, you are welcome to let these candles be for you as well. Let us now enter into our music for meditation. mindful of the truth ever exceeding our knowledge, and community ever exceeding our practice. Reverently we covenant together, beginning with ourselves as we are, to share the strength of integrity and the heritage of the Spirit in the unending quest for wisdom and love. This is the time for the sharing of joys and sorrows in the congregation. We offer a note of encouragement, good wishes to Alex Jones. He is starting a possibly new chapter in his life in Palatine this week. We hope that his travel and transition go well, and we offer our care and encouragement to his whole family as they live in such love for him. We offer a couple of notes for healing wishes, recovery. We offer a note of healing for Terry Malone. Just as she and Tom returned to Peoria from Florida, Terry badly injured her knee, and she is not going to be around for a little while. So we offer hope that when she gets checked out thoroughly, that she gets as best news as possible and that everything goes very well. We also offer prayers for Rand Hugh, also with a knee. He is having knee replacement surgery on Wednesday, and we certainly wish that everything goes well for the surgery too. Now I want to turn to condolences. We offer condolences to Nancy Rakoff and her extended family of Henry Rakoff. Henry died peacefully at home early Friday morning. He had had a long decline in health. What a pleasure it was to celebrate Henry's 100th birthday last November. His memorial service will be this coming Saturday, May 10th at 1 p.m. here at the church with reception to follow. So I invite folks to pay attention to our emails and so on with any requests for help from the caring committee. I expect we will be having a large gathering. We offer our condolences to Nancy, to Henry's family, and to all who loved him. In our larger community, we also offer our sympathies to the Hindu community. Yesterday, I had the privilege of joining the Hindu temple here in Peoria as they grieved the deaths of 26 men in Kashmir. They were targeted because of their Hindu faith. It seems to be that kind of attack based on religion that was meant to spread fear as well as sorrow. We offer our condolences to the whole Hindu community. We offer one more moment together. In our circle, we have room for all the names, all the milestones, all the sorrows that are among us. So I invite us to hold one more moment together in quiet. Shalom, salam, amen, and namaste. And now I invite Regina Stanley to come forward and join me for our new member welcome.
So at this time, I'd like to ask any new members to come forward. We would love to introduce you to the congregation. Also, I just want to let you know that we have our congregational meeting coming up June 1st, where we will vote on the budget. If you would like to be a voting member, if you've been thinking about joining and haven't yet, today you have to be a member 28 days before voting. So today is the last day you can become a member and vote in the congregational meeting. So if you've been thinking about it and you want, you can come up and sign the book also. Don't be shy. You can come on.
We gather in church seeking a higher purpose and a deeper life than we could find alone. We are grateful today for each one of you that you have found your way here and that you decided to make a commitment to this faith community. We hope that as a member of this church, you allow yourselves to know and be known, to minister to and to be ministered unto, to love and be loved by this congregation. The relationships we form in our church are based on the needs of the Spirit. These needs render each of us vulnerable and therefore reliant on one another's grace, on goodness and the generosity of spirit. So as members of this church, I invite us to be guardians of each other's struggle and inherent worth.
Okay, so here are the new members that are newest members of the congregation. I would like to introduce you to. We have Karen Long, Jenna Richardson, Kevin Tyndall, and his wife Margaret, who is not here today, Becca and Rand Hugh.
Will the congregation please rise, embody your spirit, and join with our newest members in affirming our mutual commitments to one another. Embrace freedom. Welcome, love all.
We grow
In spirit. We contribute to the healing of the world. We, members of the Universalist Unitarian Church of the World, are committed to these ideals. We invite you to join us in this commitment.
We share your commitment and accept your invitation. We covenant to nurture one another, to inspire one another, to enrich our congregational life by participating, leading, giving, and to celebrate life in all of its diversity, beauty, and creativity.
We welcome you into our beloved community, memory, and hope.
We all, members of this congregation,
remain faithful to our mutual commitments through all the ages and stages of life. We welcome you into this community with all our hearts.
And now, something many of us have been waiting for. The middle school class offers us a skit for all ages. Okay.
A long time ago, in a church far, far away. It is a time of great unrest. The Empire is systematically destroying whole neighborhoods of homes on Gabudo. They are stealing the rubble and flying it off-world in order to repurpose the rare materials that the homes were made of. These rare materials are needed to build warships for the Empire. In their wake, thousands of Gabudoians are left without shelter, jobs, food, or safety. This is the story of one Gabudoian and how they ended up making the foreign planet Pabu their home.
Just following orders must destroy all homes in sector 123.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's all I have.
Let's go. There's nothing left for you.
What's going on here, Umbriel? The Empire destroyed my home. I don't have anything.
Oh no, that's been happening all over Gabudo lately.
The worst part is they destroyed my business too, so I don't have any money to get off planet.
Hey, do you see that flaming chalice symbol on the doorway over there? I think those people offer help.
Will you come with me? I'm scared. I can't imagine leaving behind everything I know and love.
I have to stay on Gabudo with my family, but I'll come with you to meet those Jedi who can help.
You're a great friend. Hello, I hear you can help people who have lost everything.
Yes, the flaming chalice symbol sure helps to let people know we are here for them. If you secure the credits, I can get you off this planet. Meet me here at my speeder after the sun sets.
Several hours pass, and Umbriel says goodbye to Fifi. And she meets Jorn the Jedi at the speeder ship.
Do you have it?
Yes, I just secured the last credit.
Security. Let's go.
Umbriel and Jorn make the trip through hyperspace to Pabu.
We've made it to Pabu.
I can't thank you enough, but it sure is scary to think of starting over.
Welcome to Pabu. Here we live by our shared values that guide how we care for each other. You've come to a place where we put love at the center of our lives.
It's so beautiful and peaceful, but I still feel lost.
Here on Pabu, everyone matters, no matter where you come from. You deserve what you need to grow and thrive. We are all connected to each other and all living things. Your strength helps me, and mine helps you.
What happened to Gabudo was wrong, but we work every day to build the beloved community. We share what we have, whether it's food, shelter, time, or inspiration. There's always enough when we give from the heart.
We come from many places, speak many languages, and celebrate many traditions. On Papu, there's many paths to finding truth.
You've already begun to change just by being brave enough to come here. This is a place where we can all evolve.
I had no idea a place like this existed. Maybe we can maybe I can make a home here. If we all put love at the center of these values, we can start something that matters.
That's how Pabu grows, one person at a time, becoming their best self and lifting each other up along the way.
Umbrielle found more than shelter on Pabu. She found a place where equity is real, interdependence is life, justice is pursued, generosity is practiced, pluralism is celebrated, and transformation is possible. Her journey isn't over, it's just beginning.
Home isn't always where you're from. Sometimes it's where your values are.
Welcome to Pabu!
Thank you for being such a wonderful audience for the Magic of UU class. They've been working on this script for most of April, and we appreciate you being our audience. The kids and volunteers can join me for religious education.
So sometimes the offering really is about bricks and mortar. It is about the tangible and intangible ways we create our community together in body, in mind, in spirit, for the care of all creatures, for the care of this earth, and for simply our circle, our congregation as well. And we also, in receiving a portion of abundance in our offering, in our receiving plate, we also send a bit out into the world through our Share the Plate program. We take half of the undesignated plate over the course of the month and send it to a local agency doing good work in Peoria. And for May, our Share the Plate is going to the NAACP here in Peoria. They formed in 1915 the Peoria branch was formed in 1915 in order to ensure that African Americans and other marginalized folks would have the same rights afforded to white Americans. And here they work on voting and education, housing, employment, and the judicial system. And so this is a moment when we can really show up and give something for folks who are giving to some of the most vulnerable in our community. So I invite you to consider that as you fill out a pledge, fill out a donation envelope, or go to our QR code in the order service to make a donation. So again, Share the Plate. Half of the undesignated plate goes to the NAACP in Peoria this month. So I invite you to consider and be generous in all the ways that you can. And now I invite the ushers to please come forward. Our reading today, one of my colleagues, the Reverend Ellie Kilpatrick, took the hymn, this popular Wake Now My Senses, and adapted it for Star Wars. And I'm going to read it because it's a little hard to read and sing at the same time. Wake now my senses, the force do I feel. Use it for goodness, to hope, and to heal. Honor the breadth of emotions we hold. Even when frightened, our love makes us bold. Wake now my friendship, to that I do owe. The warmth to endure all the trials and the woe. Being together reminds us that we journey empowered through the galaxy. Wake my solidarity, join with new friends. Seek out allyship, seek out amends. Speak against all oppression, for justice we long. When we join forces, our bond makes us strong. Wake now rebellion, give heed to the cries. Fighting the empire, the people, we rise. Lead into our conviction, the streets we will roam until democracy is everyone's home. Wake imagination, the stories we weave. Teach us the power of hope while we grieve. Hold Star Wars as a lesson, a call to inquire. Never defeated, our souls we inspire. Here ends the reading. Please rise in body or spirit for our hymn number 348, Guide My Feet. On Memorial Day weekend in 1977, the world met a new universe with the movie Star Wars: A New Hope. And it began, this movie, with a brief battle in space. We are introduced to the Empire and to its enemy, the Rebel Alliance, to the beautiful and determined rebel leader, Princess Leia. And from there, we feel instantly thirsty on the desert planet of Tatooine, where we meet Luke Skywalker and the Jedi in hiding, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We meet the rogue pilot, Han Solo, and his partner, Chewbacca, the 7-foot Wookiee. This universe is a world of clean, white halls and grimy bars, of fantastic vessels in space and lumbering scavenger trucks. The cast includes humans, sentient creatures of all shapes and sizes, flora and fauna in all the wildness, and droids in multiple forms and purposes. We are awash with the diversity of the empire, even as it seeks to control as much as it can and eliminate resistance at every turn. We also have the spiritual and protective path of the Force as followed by the Jedi and as used for destruction through the dark side of the Force by the Sith. In a time when science fiction, back in the 70s, science fiction was still really geeky, and such large-scale sci-fi movies were rare. Here is a new hope. George Lucas and the team pushed the boundaries of technology and storytelling while giving us a core narrative of human aspiration and implications for good and ill. We are reminded of what we love, what we fear, and what we will do if we let a desire for power dominate life itself. We also started down this path of an encounter with empire with a little e, entrenched and oppressive, grasping. It is one that continues to be unpacked and examined in current Star Wars shows, as Austin pointed out, 48 years later, and one that speaks to the past several decades of our American society, this encounter with empire. So the question is, how do we save what we love? How do we do so and move beyond empire? Move beyond the systems created to dehumanize us and to exploit this earth? How do we create a new hope? Now, I recognize that some folks are not familiar with Star Wars, and some folks really don't care for science fiction at all. I just want to recognize that. It's okay. We are inclusive. So first, let me thank you for being here if you saw the topic ahead of time. In Unitarian Universalism, we understand that truth comes from many sources. So thank you for your attention, even if you're not really sure what to make of the metaphor. It's okay. And second, I hope something will speak to you if you're not one of those folks who just connects with sci-fi. Science fiction considers the impact of technology or the lack of it on human choices and development. And even more than that, science fiction explores how we address cultural, ethical, emotional choices as finite mortal beings. It is the human story. The fandom in Star Wars is as varied as humans usually are. Some of us with Star Wars simply love a reason to fly spaceships and fighters and carry blasters and wield lightsabers if we're just in it for the fun. And some of us are drawn to the longer stories, the debating the inconsistencies in the canon or not, arguing with the infuriating choices of certain writers and directors. Oh, there's so much to debate. And we love a good chew on the debate. That's kind of a good UU spirit, right? We really love to get into it. And some of us, I gotta say, I'm kind of a fairly simple fan myself. You know, I saw A New Hope in the theater. My grandparents took me. I had just probably barely turned 5. I was small. But it stuck with me, that force, those lightsabers, that Princess Leia with a blaster. Not as a weapon of violence, but of power and determination. I mostly enjoy hanging out with Luke and Leia and all of that I first loved. That force, that energy that flows through all things and empowers people in one way if they choose the light, and powers and anger, a path of anger and conflict when they choose the dark. But I've also enjoyed growing up with this and how much the world, this universe of Star Wars, with variations on the quality, to be sure, but how it has explored many stories beyond its main cast and shown how much more there is to the Force than just light or dark. So many more of the Force sensitive folks and just the everyday folks are a mix of all those energies, just as human beings are. There is so much to be said for the exploration of science fiction in our particular time. From the Black teacher and author Adrienne Marie Brown, she says, all organizing is science fiction. All organizing is science fiction. It might not be quite so grand as thinking about empire, but it certainly is talking about how do we create more just systems? How do we treat each other humanely? How do we offer good treatment and care of the planet as well? So, all organizing is offering this vision casting into what might come. And how do we imagine that enough that we might then go and create it and test it and learn and create again? We are dreaming of worlds we don't have, but just might discover if we let them kind of spin out in one direction or another to see where we could go. But the exercise of organizing in science fiction isn't just about creating wonderful worlds. Some of the commentary in our recent contemporary politics has been critical of the liberal or the left or the democratic sides for a lack of imagination, for an ignorance or not really thinking big enough or deep enough of how bad things could get when people want to dismantle a government system and benefit a few of the wealthy and dismiss basically everybody else. The enormity of what we have been encountering in this administration in the last several months is overwhelming in its volume, in cruelty, in callousness, and also remarkably some incompetence as well. It's truly a mix. And the overwhelm is the point, so that people would not be able to respond. So much has been ruined in our federal institutions, and so much is to come with the budget conversation that may take away further supports for health care and much more. We have been struggling for centuries with legacies of enslavement, with legacies of racism, with a profound wealth imbalance. It was hard to comprehend how bad things could be. But it is important to help. The way that science fiction can help us is to give us voices to articulate what's also true in our own world. There's a manifesto in the Star Wars universe show Andor by Karis Nemec, and he says, there will be times when the struggle seems impossible. I know this already, alone, unsure, dwarfed by the scale of the enemy. Remember this. Freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. Random acts of insurrection are occurring constantly throughout the galaxy. Remember that the frontier of the rebellion is everywhere. Remember this also. The imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural. Tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks, it leaks. Authority is brittle, and oppression is a mask of fear. Remember that. And the day will come when all these skirmishes and battles The moments of defiance will have flooded the banks of the empire's authority, and there will be one too many, and one single thing will break the siege. Remember this, he says. Try. Remember this. Try. Sometimes it takes a fictional voice to remind us that tyranny is actually quite brittle, even as it remains entrenched and dominant. It could and does break us, but it's not the end of the story. And thinking about going beyond empire, that's where I was thinking about in this moment. We are confronted with the enormity of an empire, leads to the question of how do we conceive of a world on the other side of it? If we're going to be criticized for the limits of our imagination, that's fair. It's hard to imagine how bad things can be if you don't already have some of that experience. But here's also the need for our imagination. Here's what we are called to, which is how can we bring into being a world beyond that oppression? How can we bring into the world what we love, what we hold, and get it out of our own way in doing so? So I think it really begins in many ways with love. In The Last Jedi, Rose Tico saves her colleague Finn from sacrificing himself, from making the Empire pay when he could make a different choice. He was willing to make the Empire pay and just eliminate himself. And Rose, when he asks her why she stops him, she says, "This is how we're going to win, not by fighting what we hate, but by saving what we love." Not by fighting what we hate, but by saving what we love. There are so many battles and fights in our real world. Adrienne Marie Brown and her sister Autumn Brown talk about this in their podcast, How to Survive the End of the World. I love the podcast titles, right? How to Survive the End of the World. They discussed The Last Jedi when they first saw it in 2017. And their notes include how much resistance is important, how much continuation is important. Simply sacrificing oneself against, but for living into what you love as well. Our effort and sacrifice isn't about grand punctuation and radical breaks and radical acts. It's often about one increment of change in a larger, longer project. It is again and again. From their perspective in 2017, Adrienne and Autumn point out the flow and shift in justice movements. They were talking about the moments of elation and happiness and joy and movement, such as the Arab Spring, the Occupy movement, Black Lives Matter, that those were wonderful and, in fact, empowering. And then there's the backlash, the resistance to these wonderful moments. And as we are currently seeing today, those include attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion. The backlash reveals the depth of white supremacy and colonialism and patriarchy and capitalism, as they point out. It shows up in new ways, even for those who know it well. And the sisters point out, we need to humble ourselves and be sparks, not the fire. The work for justice and rights and compassion is far greater than anyone expected. And when those systems push back, it stuns and overwhelms us. But what we also have a chance to gain is a deeper comprehension of what we love. We get to know better what is essential, what is important. And that helps us value it even more and decide how and when to defend it. Protecting and defending extends into our spiritual lives, Um, from the Wikipedia post, yes, there's a Wikipedia, by Sage Seeker. Rose Tico's quote about saving love is applied also to the workings of the Force. If you're simply from a spiritual perspective, they say, to the light side of the Force, which not only encompasses positive emotions such as joy and compassion, but also promotes a defensive stance. This is articulated by Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back. A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack. So the focus on saving and protecting first and foremost has been a theme in Star Wars from the beginning. And this is also visible in Return of the Jedi, the third in the first trilogy of the movies that appeared. In that final fight between Luke Skywalker and the Sith, Luke chooses to go to the Death Star, not with the intent to kill, but to save. He focuses on turning his father, Darth Vader, dun, 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 right? Large, intimidating, black, cloaked Hulk. And Luke says, no, there is still good in you. He focuses on turning his father rather than destroying the emperor. And spoiler, Luke is right. We return to what we cherish, what strengthens us, what brings life, even when what we love is consumed by fear and anger. Luke's father was, in fact, Darth Vader, and Luke's love was able to bring his father back after a lifetime of death and destruction. Fiction is often fiction. We all know not every ending is a happy one. But the story of this kind reminds us to keep on striving, reminds us to trust ourselves as well. I know some of the most poignant signs that appear in the protests of recent days are along the lines of, I fought for this 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Why do I have to still fight this fight? And for those of us, I'll just offer, for those of us in the Gen X generation, the sign that showed up amongst my colleagues was, I didn't listen to punk rock to be overwhelmed by a dictatorship. Right? It is a reminder that it's not about any one of us, as much as it'd be awfully nice for it to be taken care of, right? It's not about any one of us, but it is about every one of us and our imagination. It's about every one of us remembering love and seeing the world in all of its fullness and complexity. We are, in fact, in so much need of imagination in this moment. I'm reminded of Israel and Palestine. Yesterday, I got reminded of the conflict between India and Pakistan. And then simply in our own world, in our own country, how much will need to be rebuilt, defended whenever possible, and how long this will take. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that my children have this wonderful power of imagination and know the commitment to love as well, because it's what they're going to be working on too. And that breaks my heart. But it is the struggle. And it has been good to see that people are finding what we love and are showing up and rallying and saying, we know and understand what is important in our lives, and it is worth everything. And we will speak out and we will make this change together. We will lose as few people as possible in the process. We will save as many as we can. And this is our work of this time. So let us go forth Remembering it's not just dark, not just light, not just one empire, not just one rebellion, but it is all that we are doing together in this struggle. And with our big hearts and big minds, we can, in fact, create a new world together. May the force be with you. Please rise in body or spirit for number 1017, Building a New Way.
Good morning. Our final words, following up the wise words of our Jennifer here, sending our light into the world to kindle new fires in the world, are by Michelle Collins. Though the flame is extinguished, the embers of imagination remain, just as Jennifer pointed out. Carry them forward. Dream boldly. Act with love. And kindle new fires in the world.
From the Reverend Molly Hausch Gordon. World ending is what empire does, because ending is the point. Ending what is wild and free and unpredictable and full of promise. Endings are contained and whole, complete and controlled, the deepest desire of empire. World continuing is what we who resist do. We continue. We continue to grow and nourish and hope. We continue to love and grieve and dance. We continue to struggle, and there will never be an end to it, because ending is the work of empire. And so we continue. Our worship is ended. Let our service begin. With the fourth.